Cool. You able to start your video, Nathan?
Yeah, one sec. I'm just getting ready for work.
Oh, okay, fair enough. When you're decent, man, when you're decent.
Some images you don't want burned into your skull.
All righty, yeah. So you guys, if you can put your videos on, I'd prefer it just so I can actually see your faces. And we're still letting people through here. So what's happening? All righty, I might just start and kick this off because I've got 40 minutes. I just want to make it short and sweet, and we'll try and give you guys um, as much new information as possible. Some of you guys may already be well versed with. Oh, there's Kat. Hello, Kat. That's good. Yeah, you can feel free to unmute yourselves as well. Feel free to jump in if you want to ask any questions as we go through it. I had ideas to use breakout rooms and stuff like that with Zoom, but I think I'm just gonna just run through it. And yeah, if I do kind of go, too fast or too slow, well, mainly too fast, just stop me and ask me if I can repeat whatever needs to be repeated. All right, so let's start it up. Okay, so can you guys see my screen okay? I think you should be able to. So look, basically, here's what I had in mind. It's just 10 quick tips and tricks for using Microsoft Forms. And firstly, it's just a quick introduction to Microsoft Forms. Then I'm just going to show you how to set up a form. I don't know whether we're going to have time to actually get you guys doing it as well, but hopefully, if this meeting is recorded, well, firstly, while you're watching it, hopefully you can learn something if you don't already know it. And secondly, if it's, because it's being recorded, you can watch the recording back and yeah, perhaps you can just, just learn something new if there's anything new that I am covering. So setting up a form, so introduction first, then setting up a form, then designing questions. Like a lot of you guys probably already know this stuff, but multiple choice, short answer, ranking, etc. And the whole point of this is to get you guys using it for testing and evaluation. Now, the two are kind of different. I mean, testing is what you guys do on a weekly basis and also at the end of every 5 weeks. And evaluation would be if you wanted to evaluate the course, ask students for some feedback. We do that anyway as part of the as every term we do that. Once every 5 weeks we do a survey, and that's what I would call evaluation. Yeah, so designing questions, different question types, converting Word to PDF for an online quiz. Do you guys know anything about that? I'm sure someone has used that before. Has anyone ever uploaded a Word document to Microsoft Forms and converted it into a form? No?
I usually just use the ones on Google.
Do you use Google Forms, Nathan, or?
No, there's like if you want to convert stuff to PDF, you just Word to PDF, and there's a bunch of free websites you can use.
No, I mean PDF, upload it to Microsoft Forms and then just convert it into a form. So like, let's say you've got a test that's a PDF document, and then you upload it to Microsoft Forms, and then it converts it for you into a test, a Microsoft Form test.
Oh, okay, no, I've never done that before.
Yeah, look, it doesn't do it perfectly, but it just saves you having to type everything up. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, and then adding multimedia to forms, so videos, audio clips, etc. Automated feedback, so just looking at how to show results automatically. Accessibility features, so this is just the immersive reader, and this can be quite handy if you want to have some text and you want to decipher between adjectives, nouns, and verbs, and also show them how many syllables are in each word. Integrating with other platforms, and this is something that I've recently discovered, probably about 6 months ago, and that is forms for Excel. And this just means that when you do produce a form, that it's cloud-based, and the Excel spreadsheet that you link to it is basically sitting up there in the cloud in your SharePoint, and that's from OneDrive. Learn how to export results to Excel for detailed analysis. I think I'll just quickly, that'll just be a quick thing. Ensuring academic honesty. So you guys know that you can shuffle questions. I don't know if you know that. You can also have time limits, and that's just to minimize cheating. Some students may require more time. However, I'm always a big fan of not setting time limits. I like to allow flexibility in timing just to provide an extended time for those who actually need it. Everybody processes things at different speeds. So I don't like time limits, but yeah, you could include a time limit, and you could also shuffle the options for the answers. The record name feature, you guys probably know about that when they have to log in using their SBTA email account. Collaborative form creation. So I'm just going to look at the difference between duplicate and collaborate a form, and using forms for surveys or data collection. So yeah, I've just got a quick template gallery to show you there. So hopefully we'll get through everything. Let's see how we go. First and foremost, I'll click on Microsoft Forms. So for those of you that aren't sure how to get there, you would just log into Office 365. Office 365, and yeah, so Office 365 login. Here we go. Fergal Murphy, better late than never, mate. So I've just gone into Office 365 here, and click on this bit here, and then click on Forms, and that should take you to Forms. Okay. Okay, so in terms of what they look like, that's what it looks like from the front end. You guys know about that. In terms of setting up a form, look, I don't know whether I'm going to go through and set up a form step by step, but let's have a quick look here. So you can either set up a quiz, okay, and a quiz would be a test. So you could have multiple choice, and you could have the number of points, for example, 2, and you could also have multiple answers. Does anyone know what multiple answers actually does?
So like multiple correct answers, right?
Yeah, you could have multiple correct answers, exactly. So, you know, if there's more than one possible answer that could be correct, or perhaps actually not if there's 2 answers that are required for a particular question, you would have multiple answers. In other words, they would need to tick both of them in order for it to work. Then there's required or not required. That's quite, so that just means they have to do it. Over here, you've got shuffle options. So if you shuffle, it just means that, okay, I'm just letting people in here. If you shuffle, it just means that, the next time they look, so when students look at a form, if they do it multiple times, the first time you might have option 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next time they do it, you might have option 4 as the first option. Okay, does that make sense? I probably should do this with a quiz of some sort. Let's have a look here. Here's a quiz. So let's say here, I'll go to multiple choice. Okay, so here we've got, I'll just blow that up. Here we've got multiple choice. The question is required. As you can see, the correct answer is bumped. And then if you want to click shuffle, what that means is if the student does the test multiple times, it means the second time they see this same question, the order of these answers will be different. Yeah. You could have different types of question types. So you can make it into a drop-down question. You could have a subtitle as well, and this just means that you can enter some instructions here at the bottom. Yeah. And then something else I do use is branching. I don't know if anyone's used branching before, but branching is really handy when it comes to either, tests or even surveys. So let's say I want to add branching, and I just click on add branching. So if they get the answer correct, I can actually take them to the end of the form, or I can take them to any one of the other questions. So I'll just show you that again. So basically it's here, add branching, and yeah, if they get the answer correct, they go to the end of the form, for example, yeah. And if they get the answer wrong, they just go either to the next question, or perhaps you've got a question in mind that they need to go to. Does that make sense? Yeah. So those are the options there that you've got here. Obviously, if there's only one possible correct answer, you wouldn't click multiple answers. But, if there's more than one possible answer, or if you require multiple correct answers, I should say, then, you would have multiple answers, and then you would have equal to or at most. So there's some different kind of options there which you can play around with. I'm just going to get rid of the subtitle there, because this is actually a test that we do still use sometimes. Okay, so in terms of setting up a form, there's two options. It's either a new quiz, okay, and a quiz is just a test, and it means you can have points assigned to each question. And it's just like that. So you would have points, 20, for example, or 2. And then another one could be a long answer, so a writing question. Yeah, so a long answer for the writing, and you could have 20 points for this. And the other thing you could have is a form, and I use forms. So I use a quiz when it's a test, and I use a form if it's a survey, or you're asking for some survey feedback. If you're asking for, so in terms of evaluation, I would use the form. Okay, so yeah, so there's short answer as well. So let's have a look here. So yeah, for a test, you could have text. By default, it's short answer. So cat sat. So short answer, and then you'd add the answer, correct answer on, add, and then maybe on, and then on, just to account for anyone who uses capitals. Okay, so it looks like that. Short answer, ranking, there's ranking as well. So if I went to forms, perhaps you could, ask people, what did you think of this workshop? Yeah, and you could have up to 10 stars, yeah, and then you could just give a ranking. There you go. Something I mentioned before, and I think Nathan spoke about this, is converting Word to PDF online. So let's say you've got a quiz, yeah, that's on a Microsoft Word document, or let's say the quiz is even, a PDF document. So what I would do is I'll just share my screen here. I just click on Quick Import here. So can you see this quick import? Just there. And click on that. And then I'd upload from this device. I'm not going to upload a contract. And then you'd have the option to either make it a form or a quiz. Now, the Word document itself, I can show you, is just a cutting edge quiz. So it's, the formatting is not going to be exact. Looks like this, enable editing, view, zoom 200. So it looks like that. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to upload this to a form. And I don't want to have to don't want to have to type it all out myself. So what I would do, as I said, is I'd click on quick import, click, let me just see if I'm sharing my screen. Click upload from this device, double click, and I want to make it into a quiz. So I click quiz. You can see here it's converting it into a form. So then I'd review it. And all the text is here. It just makes it a bit quicker. But yeah, you guys are going to have to, you'd have to modify it so that it would actually work for you. Yeah. So look, it's just a way to upload documents really quickly. I haven't used this that often, but I did discover this feature. I did discover it a while ago, and I haven't used it. I'll be honest, I haven't used it in a while. It does work. It does upload the actual document, and you can upload a PDF, but you have to do a fair bit of reformatting. Okay. So there you go, Nathan. That's what I was referring to, yeah?
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Adding multimedia to forms. So who's that? Christine. Christine's trying to get into the room. All right. So does anyone know how to do this? Can anyone talk me through this? If I've got like a quiz and I want to put a listening in there. So let's say make it multiple choice. Does anyone know how to add a video to it? So click there, that little image there. You can insert an image. So I'm going to insert Ireland. Okay. Add. So you can insert an image. Let's try again. Choice. Let's try again. Insert image. Add that one. Oh, why is it not working? Trust that to happen. Let's try again. Let's try inserting a video first. See if that works. So let's see, SDTA and seller, YouTube. Okay, so what I've done there is I've just gone on a YouTube video and
whether you're trying to get your
I've grabbed the share, I've clicked on the share button, clicked on copy, and then I've gone here and I'm going to add it. So hopefully this works. So there you go. You can see you've got a YouTube video there that you can use for a listening activity. Okay. And they can click submit. And then let's see if the picture will work. Choice. It usually works when you do an image search. For so that seems to work. It was just a picture of Ireland that wasn't coming through. Let's see if we can insert a ball. Maybe it was just the. There you go. All right, so you can pop images inside the question choices, or even at the top of the question choices. I'm sure some of you already know this stuff, but look, if you don't, then great. If you do, then, you know, it's just a bit of a refresher if you haven't used that option in a while. So, okay, so we've done the insertion of pictures, videos. Oh, audio clips would just be, you know, from YouTube as well, I would imagine. So when you are here in this section here, let's say I'm doing a choice and I click on, yeah, it's just insert video or insert image. So the video could just be a listening activity. Yeah. Automated feedback and grading. Explore the automated feedback and grading options in Microsoft Forms. Show results automatically. Let's have a quick look here. And let's have a look here. Can anyone talk me through how I actually, oh, there you go. So this one here has a 16-minute time limit. It's very quick. So in terms of grading, what do we usually do for the end of term test? Do we have grades released automatically or not?
No, because you have to mark the writing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Nathan. You've got to mark the writing. So this one here, I would just click on settings and I wouldn't show the results automatically because you want to mark the writing. You want to give them feedback and you want that feedback to be delayed. Anyone can respond. We don't really want that for tests. For surveys, in other words, if you're collecting feedback about a course and you want some honest and forthright feedback, then you might want to keep it anonymous. For us, because all of our students have SBTA emails, we usually use only people in the Sydney Business and Travel Academy can respond. And when they sign in, they've got to record their name. And yeah, for a test, you may just want it so it's just one response per person. Time duration, I wouldn't have a time duration here, but yeah, you can set a time limit. You can even have a start date and an end date. I wouldn't have any of those things, but you can, particularly for tests. Like you can have an end date for tests because you know that, you know, Wednesday, for example, is the cutoff. You can show the progress bar, and this just lets students know how far along they are in that particular test. You can hide submit another response if you don't want them to submit another response. This one here, I'm just going back up here and I'm just crawling back up a little bit because it says specific people in the Sydney Business and Travel Academy can respond. You really don't want to have that as an option for students because it'll be very limiting. But yeah. So yeah, so this would be a little bit different. I would have only people, not specific people. Specific people would just be, I think, if you've only got one person that you want to answer the quiz, or specific people that you want to answer the quiz. I haven't used that one in a while. Has anyone used this one? Specific people in SBTA can respond. Has anyone used that? No? Okay, so I'll just leave it like that. You can also have this ticked as an option, and this is really good, like, you know, if you want to allow students to edit after they've already submitted their responses. Someone said so. And allow receipt of responses after submission. Do you know what this does? Anne-Marie, do you know what that does? Because I can see you smiling there.
Yeah, they just get a little email, don't they, to say it's confirmed that they've submitted their responses. No?
Yeah, that's right. So they get a little email, not a big one. And yeah, a little email. They get an email saying you've submitted your response, and they can even they can even see it. They can see what they've actually said. The other thing is you can get an email notification for each response. This is quite handy if you want to keep an eye on, how many students are actually completing a particular survey or even a test, and you want to know every single time, and you want to be notified via email every single time someone actually does respond via email. Sorry, it does complete a form. I just realized I've only got 10 minutes left. Bloody hell, I've been waffling for a bit. Okay, so with this, sometimes, and I might just cut this short, because we've only got 10 minutes, but there is an option to actually have more than one person receiving a notification saying that a form has been submitted. Okay. Usually it's not necessary. For myself and Anne-Marie, it is. I like to let Anne-Marie know when for example, if we have people wanting to transfer from one shift to another, I like to let Anne-Marie know that it's that this is happening in real time, and I also like to know about it myself. So I will use something called Power Automate, which I won't go into today. But I will use something called Power Automate, which is really good for getting or notifying multiple people when a response has been submitted. For those of you that are interested, it is available for you guys as well. It's here. It's called Power Automate. I love it. It's it just enables. It's feature rich. And I have something called flows here. So, for example, when a teacher has asked for leave, I've formulated a flow here. And if you are interested in that, hit me up. I'm happy to let you know how I do these things. The internet connection is unstable. Okay. All right. Has anyone used Power Automate before? No. Look, Power Automate is great if you want particularly if you want to let multiple people know when a form has been submitted. But it's not necessary. If it's just one person that you want to notify, in other words, yourself, you can just click get email notification of each response, okay? And it'll go through to your SBTA email account. Let me just flip back again. Okay. Okay. This is something that I discovered actually just from preparing for this workshop. Let's say you have a form that looks like this, and I can preview it here. Let me just reset it. Okay. So there you have a form, and let's say you use this thing here. So it's called the immersive reader. It's just here. It could be quite handy to use in lessons, I reckon. So if you just click on immersive reader and you click here, you can increase the text size. You can change the font. But you can also do something with grammar. So if you want to highlight just the nouns, you can just click nouns and they'll be highlighted in purple. Yeah. If you want the verbs in red, you just click on that. So There you go. You've got a modal verb there. You've got a main verb. You've got another modal. So you've got verbs there. Adjectives. Adjectives are in green. So mobile phones. I guess that's more of a noun. So just be careful. Mobile phones is it's saying that it's adjectival there, but mobile phones itself is the name of the phone. Adverbs and then show labels. Yeah, so just be careful in terms of taking Microsoft Word's, the Microsoft Office version of this grammar. But for the most part, it's correct. And then you can click play.
G6 Cycle B. Sydney English Language Academy.
There you go. So that's just in the immersive reader, and you guys can have a play with that. I'm sure you can make this work for you. You can even, just go line by line. Question? There you go. By document. Yeah. You can even change the language here. So, Filipino. There's Filipino there.
G6 Cycle B. Sydney English Language Academy. Online English Test, mga Unit 5, 6, 7, 8. Direksyon SMG Estudyante.
There you go. That's Tagalog, right? Tagalog. Alrighty, very quickly here. So that was the immersive reader. Can be useful, I'm sure, in a lesson. Forms for Excel. Now, guys, this is something I've discovered, as I said, about 6 months ago. So if you just go to your OneDrive, and that's in these blocks here, and go to OneDrive, yeah, and then click Add New. So can you see where it says Add New here? Yeah. And then just click on Add New, and then click on Forms for Excel. All right, so let's call this test form. Okay, create. Test form 2, create. So what this does basically is it produces a form, and then when it's, how with your responses, it's linked to an Excel spreadsheet. Well, the good thing with this is the spreadsheet is actually in the cloud. So when you click on it, it'll open up a workbook that's cloud-based. And it just means you can share it, and it can be a lot more collaborative. Yeah. So rather than having to download it every time, this will just automatically update. So just one more time, guys, it's here, add new, and it's forms for Excel. Yeah. I think these are great. I think it's a much better way of doing things, having a cloud-based form that automatically updates. And if I let me just stop sharing the screen. Let me just get rid of everything. And let me go back to show you what I mean. How much time we got? We got 1 minute left. That's not good. Okay, so let me just very quickly show you here. So forms, less than a minute left. All right, look, I'm going to wrap things up. I've obviously run out of time with my free Zoom account here. Guys, it was a bit rushed. I think it was my first time kind of doing it this way with Zoom. Probably, probably could have maybe done top five tips and tricks. There is a lot of stuff that I do know about Microsoft Forms. Please hit me up if you do have any questions. I think that new feature where you have spreadsheets available online is a really cool feature. Hopefully I didn't go through it too quickly. have a look at the recording, and you probably need to rewind a few times. Guys, take care. Thank you very much for joining me, and that's it. Bye for now. Okay, guys. I didn't actually get to finish off that PD session, so I'm just going to finish it off by myself. I'll just share my screen with you here. And what we've got here is we're up to automated feedback and grading. So it says explore automated grading options, discover show results automatically, master techniques to review and analyze student submissions effectively, and response receipts. So you can have multiple emails. I did mention that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you and just show you an example of a test that actually has been done by one of the teachers. I'm just going to see if I can just bring that up. Just give me 1 second here. So I'll just log in with a private browser. Okay, so just give me 1 second here. I'll just click on a random teachers one. So I'll just share my screen with you here, and we'll just have a look at a quiz here that's been put together by Dylan. I'll just open it up in Excel, and we'll open the file up. And then when we view, we can see that he forced them to sign in with their email and with their name there. So that's a good thing. It means that we can just post the scores. So basically, I'll just make sure I'm showing the right screen here. So basically, if we post the scores here, and I'll just annotate, I'll just get rid of the annotate. What will happen is we can just click on everyone there, and then we can just post the scores. And then you can see there the score is being given, 40%, 79%, 39. You can preview that as well. And so this is quite handy for just letting students know how they went in those weekly tests, as well as the end of term tests. The only problem is that you don't have a speaking mark there. So hopefully that makes sense there. So as I said, you just go into the form itself, go into responses, and then you can post the scores. So these scores have already been posted. Hopefully I haven't posted something that wasn't supposed to be posted here. Let's have a look and see when this actual test was, when the test was done. So you can see there it's the time that was required to complete it. Yeah, look, hopefully I haven't posted results that weren't supposed to be posted there. Okay, so let's go back to tips here. Let's go back to the worksheet. So these are the tips here, and I'll just view here. Fit. Right. So, that's just, I just showed you there just how to post results, and I actually didn't have that included here, but I will include it post results. So that was something that I didn't go through before. To show results automatically, you can just toggle. You can toggle the form for instant feedback. So I'll just go through this one here, and I'll just make that a bit bigger. So you just click on settings. And yeah, so this is show results automatically or not. Most of the time at the end of every 5 weeks, you don't want that to happen. Accessibility features I went through already in the workshop, but for those of you that weren't sure what I actually did, I just clicked on preview, and you just click on that little book icon there. And as I said, you can change the size of the fonts there. You can toggle on and off for grammar options. And you can even, just change the language there. So, just go back to English, United Kingdom, or English, Australia. And yeah, you can even just get it to play. I think it'll do different accents for you as well. You just see that I'm sharing my audio.
SBTA and Sailor English Language Assessment Test _2. Welcome to the SBTA English Language Assessment Test, a free service for students starting study at Sailor or seeking entry to SBTA vocational courses. ***, please remember.
There you go. It could come in handy for students. Next thing I had on here was integrating it with other platforms, and I mentioned OneDrive here. So this is OneDrive. So if you just go to Microsoft Office 365, so you can just Google, you can just, if you're on Bing, you can just type in Microsoft Office 365, click on it, and then you can just log in here, and it'll take you to your home page there. Click on those dots at the top left-hand corner, click on OneDrive, click on Add New, and then click on Form for Excel. Test form 3. Create that form. And this is really handy because, as I said, form responses will come through in an online Excel spreadsheet, which can be shared. Okay. So yeah, that can be a test. Actually, no, it can't be a test. It's only for forms. So this is only if you want to have a worksheet or you want to have some feedback from students. So forms for Excel is really handy if you're collecting feedback from students. In other words, evaluation. So for example, I used forms for Excel when I asked you guys to let me know what time was best for the workshop. And, I clicked on collect responses. I clicked on copy link. I actually shorten the link first. You have different options here, including the QR code that you guys can use in the class. A web page, you can actually copy it and paste it into a web page. But the main thing that I wanted to show you here, because I got a bit off track there, was the responses. If you click on responses and you click on open in Excel, this is a live worksheet now. So every time a student completes the form, it'll be updated. In this case, every time a teacher completed my form, it was updated. And the other thing you can do is, I think if I were to add something here, this is just an example. So this is, because it's a live worksheet, I think it'll just get saved. And then if I just refresh it here, click on open in Excel, you'll see that, that text that I just popped in there actually stays there. Yeah, so it's a worksheet that is a live worksheet, right? Okay, so back to my agenda for this workshop. And I'm looking here at ensuring academic honesty. So as I mentioned before, you can actually shuffle questions, and then you can also set time limits. So here is an example of a test that actually was produced by someone else. What I'll do is I'll blow it up. And so what you have here is the ability to shuffle questions for multiple choice. So you can shuffle questions there. The other thing you can do is you can add branching, as I mentioned before. So if they get a question right, they go to the end of the form. If they get it wrong, they go to the next question. That's quite handy if you want to have some kind of adaptive test. That was the word I was looking for during the workshop. Okay. Next. Yeah, you can have time limits, as I said before. So you can add a timer here, just in settings. You can set a time duration. And so this means that, after a certain amount of time, we just won't be able to complete the form anymore. I like to allow for flexibility when it comes to timing. I like to use, though, the record name feature. And I would use this for tests, and I would use this when I don't want to make something anonymous. But if I do want to make something anonymous, then obviously I would not force students to log in with their email, their SBTA email, and I would say anyone can respond to my form. Collaborative form creation. The main thing I wanted to look at here was duplicate versus collaborate. This is really handy. So let me just, I've got too many sheets open, so let me just click out of everything and let me start again. So here, tips, 10 tips. Okay, view, yeah, fit. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is collaborate or duplicate. So I'll click on forms, and here you can see I have my time preference for the MS Forms workshop, and I can collaborate. In other words, when I collaborate, it means that, for example, let's say I want to collaborate with Anne-Marie, I can actually add Anne-Marie here. And there she is. And now that form will sit in her Microsoft Forms shared with me section. So you can see these are other forms. These are forms that other people have produced. And for example, Anne-Marie has produced this one and she shared it with me. So collaborate just means that I have access to the back end of the form, the responses. I have access to everything in that form. It's almost like it's my form. Whereas to duplicate, so I'll just go back to forms here. Let's say I want to share the form, but I just want to share the form as a template. I can just click let's remove Anne-Marie here. Okay, so let's get the link to duplicate and let's copy it. And then I can send it. I can send that to someone else, for example, Anne-Marie. And this is just in a private browser here. So then she can click on duplicate, and then that will go into her account. So she will have that same template as me. Let's see if I can. See if I can get into my Hotmail account. Number 36, approve. So now I have the same form. I have a copy of this form. So because I've shared the template here with myself, in this case, it comes out as copy. So I've duplicated the form for myself. Okay. Oops. So duplicate is basically giving someone the ability to make a copy of your form. Collaborate means that they have access to the same form, the back end, the front end, And this is really handy if you're sharing a class with someone and you want them to be able to see the results of your students. Okay. Now, using Microsoft Forms to gather feedback on lessons, teaching methods, you guys can go to Forms again here. So look, if you're not sure where it is, it's just here, Forms. And then you can also view all the templates here. And see here, you've got like a course evaluation survey. You've got loads of templates, by the way, here. Yeah. And it just means that all the hard work is done for you. Yeah. So that's quite handy. And it looks like this from the front end. So it looks really nice and professional from the front end, right? Okay, so guys, that's pretty much it. It was a bit of a rushed workshop, and I think next time I'll probably limit it to 5 tips and tricks. But I think it was useful nevertheless, just to impart some knowledge. And if you learned, one thing, then at least that's an achievement from my end with this professional development workshop. That's it, guys. Take care. Take it easy. Thanks for listening to me, and bye for now.